Here we are at the brink of immigration reform, if you want to call it that, once again. Now we're staring at the abyss. Is sanity for our sovereignty ever going to return, do you think?
Look, immigration policy is tearing the country apart. There's no question about it. It's one of the linchpin issues where you can see the philosophic divisions widening in this country. There are various reasons for that, but defining who we are, whether we're a nation, whether we can control our borders, whether we're sovereign at all these things are at stake. And if you can't develop this core consensus that the rule of law matters, that our borders should be controlled, that we should ensure that American jobs go to American workers, and that we don't want to reward illegality, it's not the American way, it's very hard to get reform. And, you know, the Goodlatte bill, which went on the floor today and went down in part because conservative Republicans, including FAIR, we've had some issues with the amnesty component, but it did have a lot of good stuff in it. And then, of course, you have the so-called moderate wing of the Republican Party, more like Vichy Republicans, who are in bed with the Chamber of Commerce and the business wing, as well as the left, in wanting to push amnesty. Now, everybody knows Donald Trump won the election on the strength of his 10-point bullet plan. That bullet plan is a byproduct of recommendations from commissions that go back to 1979. They are very clear, right? The 4 C's, right? Close the loophole, cut the magnet through E-Verify, cut the numbers, and control your borders. Those are the fundamental elements of reform. Some of those things were in the Goodlatte bill, far better than anything we saw in the Senate. And if that could have gone to the Senate and been reasonably conferenced, it probably was something the president could have signed. Who opposed it? Chamber of Commerce, right? Business Roundtable. And obviously, the Democrats, as a party, want anarchy on the border. Yes. They just want anarchy.
They do. They want open borders. And this is completely self-destructive. But they don't care. The Democrat Party largely doesn't care because all they care about is their political power. Now, the president's executive order, to me, largely symbolic because we know, Dan, statistically, that most of these unaccompanied minors are exactly that. In other words, most of the illegal children are coming by themselves. 80% of them are coming by themselves. So when you talk about being separated from their families, they were separated by their families, by their parents, to go and breach our border on their own. So again, it seems as though this is just a little bit of political window dressing here, and it doesn't address the problem. And the problem is the wide open borders. And the problem is our lawful immigration system is being abused by programs like the diversity visa lottery system, which, by the way, is just a policy that could be reversed.
Well, look, every Democrat who's out there demanding that unaccompanied minors be released, whether or not they're brought in by a parent or not, or a smuggler or a trafficker, is playing into the hands of international organized crime. Because that's exactly what's going on here, and people need to be honest about it. This entire thing is corrupt. Right. You have this court settlement, the Flores settlement back in 1979, 1997, the ACLU brought this. It was a coordinated settlement with DOJ under Clinton. And then you had the Wilberforce Anti-Trafficking Act in 2008. These things have conspired to make it difficult to detain juvenile minors, part of how we're getting MS-13 in the country now. Those Democrats who are objecting, they just want everybody to be able to run into the country. Right. And what they don't seem to understand is we don't know for sure whether or not these people who claim to be their parents are. They might be smugglers. They might be traffickers. The trek up there is very dangerous. It's our policies. By giving favored treatment to those who show up with minors, we're encouraging traffickers to do this. We should require those who claim they have asylum claims in Salvador, Guatemala, etc., make those claims in the home country. You show up at our border, having gone through Mexico, and you didn't make your claim in Mexico, you're going to be put on a flight right back to El Salvador, and you can make your claim in a U.S. embassy. That's the way to handle this. Otherwise, you have to detain people and get the whole process resolved with immigration judges, within 72 hours, detain the entire family, and then send them back home. Because otherwise, you'll never stop this.
Yeah, the Democrats are arguing for is massive, complete, and total catch and release. That's what they want. They want these people
Remember,
Go ahead.
I mean, remember that Trump was on a roll, okay? He had North Korea going, the economy's humming along. The IG report comes out, right? An HHS secretary testifies in Congress, used the term missing children. What he was saying was, we turn over these children to illegal alien parents who don't return our calls, so we don't know what happened to them. Suddenly we heard this mantra, where are the missing children?
Right.
Well, that didn't work because it was clear you're talking about illegal aliens who had their kids here. So then it became, oh, what about the kids who are being separated?
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.